Hi class, good morning. Welcome to our week 9 topic on e-commerce. For this week, we are going to study about the e-commerce security environment. Topic objectives. Our topic discussions, the students are expected to understand the e-commerce dimensions and identify the e-commerce security issues. E-commerce security environment. Class, e-commerce is one of the continuing issues restricting an e-commerce customers and organizations. The e-commerce website includes an internal network which could connect with the World Wide Web. So the e-commerce presented in the organizations both the external and internal threats as well as the websites to which it relates. Plus, the internal threats came from the employees and internal network and business processes, including the processes from the management. While the external threats to the e-commerce websites came from the various sources that involves both the electronic economic environment and the risks associated with the external internet. Through the DOS intrusions, intruders pose a security threat to the network that can overpower the website or detect private financial information after gaining the access to the internal system with the vulnerabilities on the e-commerce sites. Information assurance, which focuses on ensuring the information and the system availability, honesty, and authentication, including the confidentiality and non-repudiations. These steps can include ensuring the information systems are restored by integrating the capabilities for security identifications, including the reaction. How about the e-commerce security dimensions? Security in e-commerce has the 6 main dimensions, which includes the integrity, the non-repudiation, authenticity, confidentiality, privacy, and accessibility. Class, if we say integrity, this refers to the ability to ensure that an authorized party has not in any way altered the information being displayed on a website or distributed or received over the internet. For example, if an unauthorized party intercepts and alters the content of the electronic communication, for instance, by redirecting a bank wire transfer to another account, the credibility of the message has been compromised because the correspondence no longer reflects what the original sender intended. And if we say non-repudiation, this refers to the ability to ensure the participants in e-commerce do not deny their action online. For example, the availability of a free email accounts with the alias names make it easy for a person to post comments or submit a message and maybe later deny that they do not do it. How about authenticity? Authenticity refers to the ability of the person to recognize the identity of an individual or organization you communicate with the online. So authentication is the act of the positive identification coupled with a degree of confidence before the individual or station has been positively identified to granted specific rights or privileges. How about confidentiality? Confidentiality refers to the right to ensure communications and data which are only available to those allowed to display them. Confidentiality is often confused with the privacy, which refers to an e-commerce seller being able to monitor the use of the information that a customer receives about himself or herself. None other than the online seller a customer has selected with the access of their personal information and account. So, accessibility is the ability to ensure that an e-commerce platform continues to work as expected. It ensures that the user has the access to systems and information as needed, and the site continues to work, meaning the proper equipment, the software, and the procedures ensure availability. E-commerce issues. There are common e-commerce security issues that we have. Lack of truth is in the privacy and the e-commerce security, such as the counterfeit sites, wherein the hackers of the counterfeit sites can easily create the fake versions of legitimate websites without incurring any cost. Hence, the business concerned could suffer the significant harm to its reputations and valuations. We also have the malicious alterations to websites. This means that if you fraudsters change a website content, they typically attempt to either attack traffic to a competing website or to damage the image of the affected business. And then we also have the theft of clients' data. The e-commerce market is full of cases wherein the criminals have stolen the personal data from the customers, such as the emails and credit card numbers, wherein it damaged the networks of computers. The damages to networks of computers wherein the preparators could damage the online store as a store of a company using the worm attacks or viruses. And then we also have the denial of service, wherein few hackers prevent the use of the online store by legitimate users, causing a reduction on its functioning. And then we have the fraudulent access to sensitive data, wherein the perpetrators can obtain the intellectual property and steal, destroy, and modify it to match their malicious objectives. Malware, viruses, and online frauds. Malware, or the malicious code, contains a variety of threats, including the viruses, worms, Trojan horses, ransomware, and bots. Any malicious code is called an exploit, which is designed to take advantage of the vulnerabilities in computer's operating system, web browser, application, or other software components. Wherein a drive by download is a malware that comes with a downloaded file that a user requests either intentionally or unintentionally. Drive-by is one of the most popular computer infections methods now. A virus is a computer program which can replicate a copy itself and spread to other files. Beside the potential to replicate, Most computer viruses provide a payload. So this payload may be relatively benign, such as displaying a message or an image, or it may be a highly destructive or destroying files, reformatting the computer's hard drive, or causing unsatisfactory running of programs. While worm is a malware that is designed to spread from computer to computer, wherein the ransomware or the scareware is a type of a malware that locks the computer files, which is often a worm, to stop from accessing them. It is a malware that prevents the access to computer files and required to pay a fine. While the Trojan horses seems harmless, but does something different than expected. So the Trojan horse is not itself a virus since it does not replicate, but it often the way for the introduction into a computer system or a virus or other malicious code such as the bots or the rootkits. It is a software whose purpose is a subvert control of the computer's operating system. A backdoor is a feature of the viruses, worms, and trojans which enable an attacker to access a compromised computer remotely. Downadapp is an example of a worm with a backdoor, while the virus is a virus that infects different types of files. Also include a backdoor to download and install additional threads. If we say bots or shortcut for robots, these are kind of malicious code that can be installed covertly on the device while linked to the internet. The botnets contain about the 90% of the world's email and 80% of the world's malware. The botnets, these are a cluster of the captured computers used for malicious activities such as sending a spam, engaging in the DDoS attack, stealing a computer information, and storing, later analyzing network traffic. Adware is typically used to call for a pop-up ads to display when the user visits certain sites. On the other hand, if we say spyware, this can be used to obtain information such as the keystrokes of a users, copies of emails and instant messages, and even take the screenshots. If we say browser parasite, it is a program that can track and modify the browser setting of a user. So for example, by modifying the home page of the browser or by submitting information about the sites visited on a remote device. While phishing is any complicated online third-party attempt to obtain confidential information for financial gain. So the phishing attacks usually involve no malicious code, but rely instead on the straightforward misrepresentation and fraud. Hacking, cyber vandalism, and hacktivism. A cybercriminal, this refers to the person who uses technology to commit a crime against that person that could be prosecuted. Usually, the offense includes the illegal accessing one or more computer systems to steal information, take it offline or online, either for malicious purposes or for financial benefit. Computer networking involves hacking, and a hacker can be considered as a form of a cybercrime. If we say hacker class, it is a person attempting to gain unauthorized access to a computer system. The word cracker is usually used within the hacking community to describe a hacker with a criminal intent. So the hackers have the malicious intentions of disrupting, defacing, or damaging the sites, or stealing personal or corporate information which they may use for financial gain or data breach. Cyber vandalism refers to the damage or a loss occurring in the digital form. So it produced the malware that destroy the electronic files or elements that disrupt their usual use or delete a disk drive. So that disables the computer device. So it can have a dramatic effect on companies, which includes customers' ability to access the services and the financial loss or effects on the brand or the credibility. So there are types of digital vandalism. We have the damaging system elements. This is a cyber vandalism that hit a business in the form of damaging item of a service to interrupt its usual use. A distributed denial of service can occur when this happens. The denial of service simply means that a service has disrupted due to some sort of the digital vandalism. This can be achieved by a cyber criminal creating and sending malware that disables something from a coworker. Next is damaging a computer hardware. Damaging a computer hardware happens when a disk drive is removed to try to deactivate a computer device. This can happen internally from the disgruntled employee or externally through a hacker attempting to steal data or intellectual property from the company. In this respect, the organization is not only expecting the loss of equipment that damages a computer system or a network, but also the loss of valuable information that can cause financial harm. And next, we have defacing websites. Anytime a cyber criminal updates or appears on a website, it is considered as defacing a website. Hacktivism is a politically motivated cyber vandalism and data theft. The corporate security departments often use the groupings of hackers called the Tiger Teams to check their own safety measures. There are different types of it. We have the white hats. If we say white hats, these are the good hackers who help the organization locate and fix the security flaws. And then we also have the black hats. These are the hackers who engage in the same kinds of activities but without pay or any buy-in from the targeted organizations and with the intention of causing harm. So they break into the websites and reveal the confidential or proprietary informations they find. And then we also have the gray hats, which believes they are pursuing some greater good by breaking in and revealing the system flaws. The gray hats discover the weaknesses in a system security and then publish the weaknesses without disrupting the site or attempting to profit from their finds. Data breaches, cyber espionage, spoofing, and farming. Data breach occurs Whenever organization lose the control over corporate information to outsiders. So it is an event wherein the sensitive or safe information is exposed. It includes the social security system, losses or theft, the bank account, the debit or the credit card numbers, the personal health information, the passwords or an email. So it can be accidentally or intentionally. If we say cyber espionage, this refers to the use of the computer network for illegal surveillance. Espionage means having the secrets without the knowledge holder's permission. Spoofing involves trying to hide a true identity by using an email or an IP address from someone else. Sometimes, spoofing a website involves farming, which is automatically redirecting a web link to an address other than the intended one, with the site being masked as the intended destination. We also have the spam or junk websites, which are sometimes referred to as the link farms. These are the sites which claim to provide some product or service, but in reality, just a series of advertisements for the other sites, and some of which contain the malicious code. These are the references that you may look for further readings of this week lecture. Try to visit this. Thank you and good day.